Welcome, Karen, to the ICF Coaching Community Podcast, where we share stories and experiences from coaches and pass them on to the next generation. I'm so
Thank
excited
you.
for everyone to hear from you today.
I'm excited too.
Wonderful. Oh, well, as with always, we just want to hear, how did you become a coach?
Let's see. So my background is organization development, and I did a master's in OD, and when I came out, I was doing some coaching and leadership development and facilitation. I was also doing a process called graphic facilitation, where I in real time draw the group's process on the wall on big wall chart paper, like maybe 8 or 10 feet long by 4 feet high. And so the idea of listening deeply, of the client owning their work, of supporting, not directing, was very much in my blood. And um, I was working as an internal. No, I guess at that time I was still working on my own. And my mother, who also does similar work, said to me, I'm in this training program. And honestly, it really, really seems like you. You
Mm.
should take a look at it. And it turned out she was at Coach U and she was doing training to develop coaching skills and pursue coaching at that time. And so as I looked at it, I thought, this actually does sound like me and it feels like it's very aligned. So at the time is probably 2005-ish. Pat White, who was the person who introduced me to OD and the master's program that I ended up going to, was going to bring a coach training program to Nashville. Actually, it was going to be held in Brentwood. And it was a program that not only had coaching skills, but also an NLP certification for coaches. And I decided to do that. It was face to face in person. And actually, my mom and I did it together.
Mm.
And it was great. Immediately, it was like, oh, this is absolutely me. She was right. And then I started working for an organization as a leadership development internal consultant. And so I did some coaching and other forms of leadership development. And I kept working with my own clients on the side. And that's kind of how I got started. And since then, my curiosity and excitement has continued to grow, and I've done
Mm.
other training programs, and kind of similar to the NLP in the beginning of my studies, I am getting ready to do some study around neurobiology. Since that time, I also have done somatic work and presence-based coaching work, and so it's like all the streams kind of come together. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, the integration of those things in my work to really help my clients have easier access to making the changes they want to make and helping them be sustainable. So, yeah, it started with Pat White and a team, and my mom and I in class. And I learned that I love coaching. I love being with coaches. I love talking about coaching and studying about coaching. And that really has continued through today. I think I finished that program in 2006 and still going. So,
20 years later.
no, I can't believe it.
Uh,
Mm,
so coaching was already who you are, and your mom and Pat White helped bring that out even more. And
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I love sitting with coaches. You can see how much they love it. I can see how much you love it just as you talk
yeah,
about coaching.
absolutely. It's funny because I met Pat when I first moved to Nashville. And at one point, I was working for a consulting firm, and she told me this must have been it must have been like in the late 90s. She said, I'm taking this class, and I was asking her what she was excited about, and she was telling me about this thing called coaching, which at the time
Mm.
it wasn't a thing like it is
Yeah.
today, as far as a profession. So she was early in it, and she was asking if I knew anybody that might be interested in working with a coach. And I knew I had a friend and colleague who was thinking about making some transitions, and I introduced them. And so I heard Pat in some conversation say, "Yep, Karen helped me find my first client." And I was like, what? I can't believe that. But she was one of the people that really got me going in the field, and then became my teacher, and then became my mentor coach. And so I'm still really grateful for all the things she's brought into my professional life and personal life. So, yeah.
Wow. No one else can claim that they helped Pat White get her first coaching client. Oh, so cool. Well, as you think about your coaching journey, 20 plus years, even before you found it, it was just part of you. What do you feel like has been maybe some of the most formative moments for you?
I think being in my first coach training, really seeing how the things from my OD background fed into the work of coaching, and the mindset of openness and true partnering and collaborating with the client, and them having ownership and not building dependencies, all of those things really, when I experienced those in the coaching environment also, it felt like, I really belong here. I know this deeply. And then doing coaching as an internal at the time when people didn't know as much about where to use coaching was challenging, um, to position it well, that it's not punishment. It's not something that happens to you before you get kicked out of the organization. So seeing from an internal standpoint how coaching can be used and should be used and where it shouldn't be used, that's been really important, because now, as an external working on my own, I can see and understand some of the unspoken things that, of course, I ask questions about them, but the things that may be concerns that people have. So that's been formative. I'd say also, way in the beginning, my mom and I and two other coaches that we trained with, Nancy McMorrow and Glenn Biggs, put together a pro bono program for um, uh, soldiers in the Army National Guard from down in Smyrna. And at first, they weren't excited about participating, because although they were excellent in their work, they were having trouble with meeting their PT requirements for physical training and those standards. And so that's what we did a coaching group around that, where they could have conversation and support, and we'd hold this space and coach the group. And then we would work with smaller groups individually, one-on-one coaching. And it was interesting to see them go from, oh, I'm not sure if they volunteered or if they were voluntold to do it, but they were not super enthusiastic, because the concern was, will this make us look weak? Well, is this like therapy? Is this going to have some negative impact on my military career? And as they started experiencing coaching and bonded with each other in a whole different way, and having successes that they hadn't previously had, their identity and perception of the program shifted, and people's perception of them shifted, to the point that the room where we met, that had blinds that they would close during session, people were like peeking, trying to see who was in there. and asking if they could join the group. And the group, who named themselves and proudly uh, affirmed that they were part of this coaching process, said, no, you had to be in the beginning. We've already formed. And it was just really exciting to see that transformation that people went through, not only in their self-perception and the perception of others, but also in the success of being able to meet the standards they were trying to meet. So that was early on and very exciting. So
Wow. Yeah. And to that, at that point, to have it, some embrace, I'm being coached as part of who I am. This is part of what we're a part of. Just like
yes,
claiming the process as part of, yeah, like what you said, identity. It's just uh, so fulfilling to be part of that, I imagine.
it was. It absolutely was. Yeah.
As you look back and think of, well, so many successes and of course like challenges, what challenges shaped the way you coach today?
Oh, well, definitely working first as an internal
Hmm.
brought up some challenges, what it's like to coach in the same system where the clients are living. So that means that I know some of the people that they know that they may be doing work around, and how do I bound myself so that I keep my client front and center? How do I partner with the client even as I understand things that in like the coaching engagements that I have now, I know what the client says. I may know if their manager is involved, that perspective, but that's it. So it made it a little more tricky to maintain, or at least just be aware of boundaries. Like that in itself could be a little distracting for presence. So that was a challenge, even learning how to talk about what coaching is and explain where it should and shouldn't be used, and how do I work with leaders and HR when they could tell me what to do, but I am beholden and hold very seriously ICF ethics and uh, confidentiality and things like that. And at the time that I was doing this, the competencies didn't yet include sponsors, and so it felt even more. Um, Sometimes I felt more uncertain, like what's the ground that I'm standing on here. I'd say another thing that was a challenge for me, and trying to think how it's shaped me, and that is I did my presence-based coaching certification as I got ready to step into the role of ICF president. And I was president-elect. And in that process, you the client really thinks about what is it that's most important to me and what is it I want to commit to? What commitment am I making to myself as I get ready to do this coaching work? And that what's my focus? The not only the what do I need to do, but who and how do I need to be successful in that? So I did that myself, and my commitment was around being able to see myself and hold myself as a successful president of the chapter. Because although I had volunteered in many roles, I thought I was going to be director over outreach. And instead, I was asked, would you be president-elect, which was not really what I had in mind. And so it meant doing work, along the way. It also, by the time I got into the advanced program at PBC, it was my son was about 4. He was finishing pre-K. We were in lockdown. I was working full time, helping him with virtual kindergarten, which was horrible, um, and in school at presence-based coaching, and stepping from president-elect into the presidency. And so that that was just a really hard time. And a wonderful time at the same moment. The chapter expanded and grew. We uh, had more members. It was the first time we really, really had serious outreach across the state to West Tennessee, East Tennessee, and central down to Chattanooga. We were meeting virtually, so we got to bring in speakers from all over the place, folks that we wouldn't have been able to afford to bring in otherwise. It was the first time we had Marcia Reynolds. We had a partnership with another chapter for Marshall Goldsmith and so many exciting others. And I think it taught me as a leader how important it is to have an excellent team. We had an amazing board, and everybody really stepped up and took our shared vision and implemented. And it was exciting. And there were times where sometimes my own somatic practice seemed like the only thing that was keeping me going. Um, I remember taking I guess it was the certification uh, demo coaching where I was being assessed for presence-based coaching at the same time that my dog was crying and my kid was doing so, but I stayed focused on the client. And so that was some of the feedback that I got about presence, because they could hear every now and then that breakthrough sound, and just learning how do I stay with in the midst of chaos, which is funny because, like, I'm guessing you probably experience too, a lot of times the things that I'm experiencing are the same things or similar things to what my clients are experiencing. So living
Yeah.
through chaos and leading in uncertain times and keeping myself working on my own self-regulation. All of those things I was experiencing helped me support the clients that I worked with too.
Yeah.
And it's still true. It's still
Yeah.
true.
Well, Karen, I just love that you coach yourself. You have a coaching practice for yourself, and even though those moments, you bring it back to you because, and it's so true for coaching. Like we can't be who we need to be for the clients if we're not being who we need to be for ourselves in our own life.
Exactly.
And it sounds like you've
Exactly.
mastered the balance between.
Well, I hope so. And what it definitely taught me was I learned I don't know that clients have an awareness of it, and they don't need to,
Yeah.
but the amount that I learned that benefits me as a coach and as a mom and as a professional, the things that I learned from my clients as I watch them move through their own transformations, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like I am truly inspired by the people I coach, watching them be brave and take risks and adopt new behaviors. And it's very exciting and very beneficial.
Yeah.
Mm.
So fulfilling. I agree with you. It never gets old to watch someone have an aha moment, a breakthrough, to watch people change their lives. It's
Yep,
it's such an honor to be a part of.
it really is. It really is.
And
Yeah.
I just want to call back one thing that you talked about, balancing everything in such a pivotal time in like the world, also running the chapter,
Yeah.
finishing your training, having a virtual kindergartner. I mean, that alone is
Oh, I don't wish that on anybody. My little guy. Jeez.
oh. So at such a pivotal time in our chapter, you led, and yes, great board, but they followed your wonderful leadership and how you were leading in your own life in a crazy, uncertain time as well. I'd love for you to speak to how the ICFTN chapter got the global chapter award under your leadership and what led to that because that's what I want
It's
to shine a light
very
on is the
exciting.
fact that you led the chapter to that.
Well, it's interesting. I can still picture I was in Asheville on the first vacation during COVID, and I had my laptop, which I wasn't supposed to be looking at, but I did anyway. And I saw this message from ICF Global, and I was just like clapping and cheering and jumping around. And my kids looking like, "What's going on, Mom?" And I said, "We won, we won." I was I was so thrilled. We were one of 11 chapters across the globe that won the recognition, and the timing of it connects Joanna Williams, who was the president prior to me. I was her president-elect, and my term, because it started uh, mid to late 2019 and into through our year. And it was such a, there's so much uncertainty, and many chapters really experienced difficulty in maintaining membership. But I think we were unique in that we started as ICF Tennessee, but really we became an ICF chapter having been Tennessee Coaches Alliance, which was based in Middle Tennessee, the Nashville area. Um, and actually, during the time when my mom was president of the chapter, they became the chapter went from TCA to ICF. And so each year, the chapter grew. I feel like it's kind of stair stepped. You can see each president contributed something that made a significant difference. And so there were a lot of things that came to fruition during my year that, the vision of those things started earlier. And I remember when I was writing up our chapter report, every chapter submits kind of our own self-evaluation to ICF Global. And I was writing it up thinking about the reins getting ready to go from me to Brenda Baird, who was the president-elect in my board, and thinking, Brenda, I think things are put in place now that Brenda will have a good chance of winning this award, because we've done so much. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go back and edit this report and really show them what we've done. We had a
Mhm.
membership committee. We had co-chairs during my term. The membership committee, Gail Southwell and Anna Walker, our current president, reached out in such a thoughtful and strategic way to connect with the other parts of the state and make them feel included and welcome. Now that we were doing virtual meetings, they could participate since, it's 3 hours to Knoxville or Memphis, less for Chattanooga, but still people weren't wanting to travel for a lunch meeting. And so now we were able to really meet their needs. They had done surveys to gather data. What do members need and expect? Um, our treasurer, Jennifer Gamble, man, she put processes and procedures in place that had everything just so that the transitions from our year forward would be smoother. We'd be more clear about the resources we have. Our programs committee, um, Lisa Gamble and Diane, um, oh, now I can't think of Diane's last name. She's on the current board.
Diane
Um,
Watson.
Thank you, Diane Watson. Sorry, Diane. Um, served in bringing together not only people for our chapter, but for the first time partnering with other chapters, uh, and outreach, did work in the community, helping people understand what coaching is and how they can find trained and many, many credentialed coaches. Um, just everything worked usually, much more smoothly than I would have imagined. There were times where there were blips, but we really did a lot. Oh, we had Dr. Akina Finch doing
Hmm.
social media for the first time. And it really was, it was the first time we were uh, intentionally, as part of the way we worked, using social media like in a deep way. She partnered then with Nicole Provenchi, who was doing marketing. And so people really leveraged each other. And as a
Mm,
result, we had a significant growth in membership and breadth of the chapter programs, everything. It was wonderful. So I rewrote to say, no, no, let me just tell you what we really have done as a
mm,
result of building on the things done in previous years. And they saw and heard it. Now we've got a great, I mean, not that we didn't before, but our regional representative, Angie, she is so supportive of the chapter, and some of the things that we were doing now they're doing as ICF broader. Like this year, I'm so happy to be a member and not on the board to really experience membership again for the first time in several years. And Pam Reeves is doing programs, she and her committee every week we've got offerings. And because they've changed the membership structure, now that I've paid my dues, I don't have to keep paying for every meeting. It's some of the ones that are partnerships, I may pay 10, $15 or something, but there is something. And in fact, there are workshops, like for instance, the one that was on using speaking to help support your
mm.
business development. I have gone back to that recording more than once as I prepare for my own speaking engagement and how to leverage that to help develop my business. So I have a lot of gratitude for the things that are being done now, and the regional get-togethers have been so much fun. And so there's a lot going on now that makes me excited. It feels like the building on the year that we won continues, and yeah, everything is more standardized. Brenda's year, they did a lot of work. Nobody could really see all the behind the scenes work on getting our charter and
Mm.
all of our infrastructure set up in a way that makes us stronger. So yeah, we had a great year, and I think it just continues to get more and more exciting. So
Yeah. Well, we have so much gratitude for you. And yes, we are enjoying all the benefits of the work that you did and Brenda and all the other past
yeah,
presidents. And yes, shout out to Pam for the incredible events because there's just so much and so much that we can, like you said, go and apply or listen back and have a
exactly.
recording. And I've heard more and more coaches like we don't have, yes, there's so many great certification programs to take. I want to collect all of them too. Like also, there's always more to learn. That's the beauty of coaching. Every session, every client is different. There's so many different approaches, but just even the chapter learnings, there's so much we can take and apply right away.
Immediately,
Uh,
immediately. So yeah, that's great.
well, as we think about the future of coaching, I mean, even this year, so much has evolved. We're only six
Yeah,
months into the year. What excites you most about the future of coaching?
a lot.
You're
It's
like, what
it's
not
really,
doesn't what doesn't sell it?
yeah. It's so I am right now back in school again, of course.
So
I'm
inspiring.
working on my mentor coaching specialization. And so I am very excited about that. I have offered mentor coaching um, to individual clients who are working on renewals and love it. I absolutely love it because, coaching is so beneficial. It's so helpful that having really strong, capable coaches makes a difference. And so watching and being part of a coach, honing their skills and getting stronger and stronger, that is just the best. So as ICF is changing requirements for mentor coaching. That puts me in the position of doing 41 more hours of training and getting feedback. And there are a couple of people from the chapter who are also students in the same program as me. And so that's exciting because we can talk with each other. I'm excited about experiencing working on a platform for the first time and what I will learn and like and maybe not like, I don't know about that, but that's a new experience. Uh, Kind of to continue weaving in different uh, threads from my background. I'm going to be doing some training in neuroscience and I'm really curious about how to integrate what sometimes are taught in disparate ways, but all come together in the human system. Um, the neurobiology, the somatics, the presence-based, and also really importantly, I'm learning about building a coaching practice. And so that's, ooh, it's exciting and it's a learning curve. And sometimes I realize, like, I hear from clients, I just want the magic wand. Just give me the thing that I all of a sudden know it and can be super capable. And yet, that's one end. The other side of that continuum is I do like learning. I really do. Even as I wish I could do it perfectly the first time. So
Oh.
there's a lot new and a lot of building on the past and a lot for me now that I'm back working on my own. A lot of connection that I'm really enjoying. I'm going to a gathering of coaches in Atlanta over the coming weekend, and I can't wait. I'm
Mm.
really looking forward to it.
You'll have
So,
to let me know how it goes. It's because there's nothing more. I just learned so much by getting together with other coaches.
yeah,
And that's why I think it's the community aspect is so important. Get in community with coaches.
yeah.
It's, you're so inspired. But as I hear you talk, what I keep hearing is like you're just the embodiment of staying curious. You've stayed curious, continued learning, which is such an inspiration, especially as someone who's accomplished so much. Um,
Oh, gee. Well, I feel I do always feel like a learner because there is just so much. There's so
there
much we
is.
can take in. And then when there's an opportunity to use it right away and you see a different impact, to be able to connect with someone, even for me, just learning a different way of framing my questions, talking less that really gives my clients more space. That is that is very exciting. And so for people who are interested in ICF Tennessee, whether they're in Tennessee or not, because they can choose to join from
Yep.
anywhere, and be able to experience the benefits of our membership, I would say wherever you are, get on a committee quickly, go to new member orientation, go to your nearest regional meetings, because then it really does become community in a very sustaining and exciting way. I've found work through partners, I've found people to refer to through the partners from ICF. I've learned from ICF. I've had a fun time getting together,
Mm.
become friends with people in the chapter. So, um, and because I've been around a long time, there are people who can reflect back to me my own growth. So it feels very supportive and kind. And yeah, it's a great experience.
It truly is. And as we wrap up, Karen, I'd love to just give you the opportunity if you want to pass on any wisdom to the coaches in our community or anyone else listening, whether they're just beginning or they're 20 years in, what wisdom would you like to pass?
Um, I think it's kind of what you hit on. Just stay open and curious.
Hmm.
And I mean, I can say when I went from the way I had been coaching from uh, Coach Academy Texas, which became Coach Academy International, the program where Pat White was my teacher. Um, when I went from that to presence-based coaching, it was kind of hard because to fully embrace this new or different way of coaching, I had to unlearn some things to try some things differently. And then when I went from there to Strozzi Institute, and I'm sure well, even now with the uh, mentor coach training, and I'm sure with the neurobiology also, I'm going to have to be open to maybe even just putting something on pause long enough to fully take it in and then weigh, like when I'm complete, what works for me? What do I want to try and embody with my own clients and see how that goes? And so I think I found it more challenging sometimes than new people who were brand new to coaching because it all made sense to them uh, compared to somebody who had, even as I wanted to be open, there were some things that were fixed
Yeah.
about how this should be done. So but it's so worth it. It's worth it to
Yeah.
kind of break that frame and remake it. So,
Yeah.
and join a committee.
And
That's
join
the
a
other
committee.
thing.
Stay open,
Join a
join a
committee.
committee.
Yeah.
Uh, Karen, thank you so much for being an inspiration and just reminded me why I fell in love with coaching as I hear you talk about it.
Oh,
So thank you
thank you.
for everything.
And thank you for your service to the chapter. Having this podcast is different. It's new for us and it's very exciting. I've enjoyed watching the two previous ones and seeing how you work with people. I imagine I have a little taste of what it's like to be coached by you, which is very exciting. So, congratulations and thank you. Thank you for your willingness to step up and lead in this way. So,
Oh, it's an honor to be part of the ripple effect with you and everyone else. And who knows, 10, 20 years we'll look back and see how this made a difference and how someone
yep.
took notes on your session, for your podcast and it changed their life. We never know. And I think just what I'm taking away hearing you talk is that like when we share our stories, we share experiences, we get in community too, like so much like someone can see something we don't see. And coaches could so tend to isolate because it's we're working with clients or groups, it's more of a solopreneur tends to
Yep.
be solo practitioner, whatever you want to call it. But you can do it with other people, and there's so
Yeah.
much wisdom that you distilled to us in the last 40 minutes. So thank you again, Karen.
Thank you. Yay. Thank you for
We
inviting me.
thank you.